Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick, The Strain, episode 211, Dead End. Alonso, Bibb, stop it. No, we're not.
We were doing it before.
I know, but I didn't want to do it while we were recording.
Why? That's when it's gold.
No, it's...
If no one watches it, no one knows how funny we are.
The tree doesn't make a sound. Okay.
Yeah.
I did like the fact that the last character introduced on this episode was named Alonso Cream, which is my new line of skincare products tied into the strain, I think.
I didn't even notice that.
It'll make your complexion Aikido luminous. Anyway.
So this is the Glenn Nazi, Glenn Ross episode. You like that? I couldn't decide between Glenn Nazi, Glenn Ross, or Glenn Gary, Glenn Nazi.
There we go. Good one.
Yeah. We find out Eichhorst's backstory. And I like that he admits up front, yeah, I became a Nazi because I couldn't get laid.
Yeah.
You wouldn't understand.
Yeah, he was. I'm sure the Nazis were a lot of frustrated file clerks who suddenly felt like big shots when they've got their boots on, you know.
Yeah, I'm curious how old he's supposed to be in these flashbacks, because he looks like maybe early 50s.
Yeah, I know. That's, you know.
I feel like maybe they recast a young Satrakian. Would we do that?
Yeah, but Satrakian's not a Strigoi, so like.
Well, yeah, but this is before he was.
Yeah, but
a Nazi.
But once he became one, he wouldn't have aged that much. So we'd have to.
So he's only about 10 years younger.
Yeah, right. So they had to really super Joan Collins up the lenses or whatever. R.I.P. Jackie, by the way. Anyway, yeah. So that was pretty interesting. I thought the whole my pathetic backstory, tomorrow belongs to me business. And then I thought this was actually a pretty satisfying episode as far as the action quotient and suspense stuff. Yes, we should talk about the elephant in the room, which is. The point has been rightly made in recent years that sexual assault is kind of a cheap plot device that gets trotted out rather frequently.
Horrific and serious in real life, in movies and TV, often, not always, just cheap scare, cheap shock, cheap horror, cheap drama, and then usually not a lot of follow-through, which makes it even worse.
Right.
People get over it too quickly on TV shows. In reality, it's fucked up.
I think in this case specifically, in Eichhorst sort of threatening Dutch, he's a Nazi vampire.
Right.
He's a horrible, horrible person.
I've heard some people say, like, we already know he's a Nazi vampire. We don't need to see him do more horrible things. Which, yeah, kind of, but now do you want him to not be in character? I don't know how.
I don't know what the threshold is there.
Here's what it boils down to. If this is outside your comfort zone, if this plays as cheap and repugnant, perfectly valid response.
It's your call.
Perfectly valid response to this. I will say kind of a pro and a con for the strain. On one hand, it does have the out of, it's horror. It's supposed to be horrifying. It's supposed to shock and terrify and make us uncomfortable. Horror is kind of the genre in which we are sort of encouraged and generally allowed to confront the absolute depths of human and inhuman depravity.
Sure.
On the other hand, The Strain isn't really that kind of a horror show. This level of intensity and this level of just violence towards another person, even the Nazi thing, kind of comes out of nowhere on this show. You could take a lot with very minimal effort. You can take out some of the extreme violence and some of the sexy stuff. The Strain could be a Saturday morning cartoon show very easily. Now, and then we had this huge leap, and yeah, it's scary. The whole, Dutch running around the hotel, finding all the walls are not just locked, but they're bricked in.
Yeah, that's a nightmare moment. That's a nightmare moment with you're running down the stairs of the horror hotel, and there's a frickin' brick wall.
Yeah, and that right there is genuinely frightening. But does it really belong in the Strain? They really haven't eased us into that very, very well. So if that really turned you off, I totally get it.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying anybody who reacted to it strongly, you obviously are entitled to that response, and totally no one's going to deprive you of it. But I think that she does mace the shit out of him, which was very satisfying.
It does beg the question, though, why does that hurt a vampire? I understand it might affect his eyes because he's wearing contacts, but, should that hurt a vampire? Should that affect a vampire?
They've still got mucous membranes. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not an expert. You're asking me like I'm gonna. Well, you know.
One thing I say is that he keeps smelling her, and he's like, "Yo, I smell. Oh no, it is your shampoo." I'm like, "Isn't your nose fake? Didn't he have to apply? Because I thought the thing that actually helps you smell are like the little hairs on the inside of your nose. So shouldn't his sense of smell be dead?"
Hey, but don't vampires have like dog senses?
Well, yeah, but like maybe not the. I mean, I buy that the sniffers. We're calling them sniffers. I buy that they can smell really, really great because they still have their noses.
Yeah.
Well, they still have their noses. They've fallen off from necrosis.
But I think vampires as sort of ultimate, as apex predators, if you will, have a lot of different sensory, equipment at their disposal, even if their noses fall off. I don't know.
No one
We're
knows.
getting deep into the weeds here.
There was a line Max Landis, screenwriter, was talking about something his dad, John Landis, told him. John Landis did American Werewolf in London, Innocent Blood. He's great. And he said...
Innocent Blood. I
love it. That's his vampire cred.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's
fair
why
enough.
I brought it up.
Okay,
he knows his vampires.
Okay, fair enough.
Also, Innocent Blood is fucking awesome. But he was saying, how do you kill a vampire? And, to which typically you would respond, sunlight, stake to the heart, garlic. To which John Landis says, you can kill them any way you want. They're fictional.
True.
So it's a good point. Like vampires, every time we do vampires in any movie, story, whatever, you redefine the rules.
Yeah, no, that's true. The near dark parameters are not the same as the Twilight parameters.
But you know, to be kind of consistent, and the whole macing thing of just like, that works, why don't we just get a whole shit ton of mace?
Well, I think the UV lights work even better.
I suppose that's true.
There's a lot. They've got plenty of things going on in this universe. All right, elsewhere on the strain.
Oh yeah! Oh no! They're leaving the Indian restaurant.
Yes. Well, you'd be glad they were at least revisiting them.
Oh, I'm gonna miss those guys.
Well, but at least now we've got our Mexican wrestler on the case.
I thought he's leaving too, though.
No, he stayed.
Did he stay? I missed that.
Yeah.
I thought he left. I thought he drove them.
He did, and then once they got over the border, he got out of the car and came back to team up with
I think I might have turned off the episode,
dude. Yeah, that was the big ending. Is that the El Angel, the Silver Angel, is staying to fight the good fight.
Well, I'm an incompetent hack.
You're the worst.
I am the worst. I'm sorry, I missed the last minute.
Okay,
sorry.
so that happens.
That's kind of a thing.
Yes.
I guess it would have been weird otherwise. I remember thinking he was going to have to come back anyway because you built him up a lot.
Yeah, no. He's in. He's in it to win it.
Something with that dude.
And then Strakian cannot get that damn book back.
Oh, I know. And it's another thing like we saw like in the previous 2 episodes ago. Just never underestimate the capacity of the stupid and greedy for evil. It's like I'm dumb and I want a lot of money for very little effort.
Right.
I'll doom the planet. There's always that person in that horror movie. It's like Thomas Hayden Church and Demon Knight or something where it's just like, I'll save myself for the next 5 minutes, even if it means dooming the world.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like, how great is Tahiti going to be once the planet is covered with these things?
Well, I guess Tahiti might be a little isolated.
Maybe.
You might be okay.
But then, they just get that water taxi guy to take a bunch of them over. And
right,
then,
there you go. Now, that's another vampire role most people don't bother with, the crossing, they can't cross running water.
Was that a thing?
That's an old vampire thing. They can't cross running water like a stream or a lake.
Oh, really?
And then last time I saw that used in a movie was in Uwe Boll's Blood Rain, where they explicitly say, vampires can't cross this lake. That's why we have all of our vampire hunters on an island in the middle of the lake. And then 2 scenes later, a bunch of vampires cross the lake.
Oh, Uwe.
You have to be consistent. You have to be consistent with your rules.
They're very good about let the right one in, about, the whole can't enter if not invited rule. So, there's always there's so many rules, but everybody makes up their own.
Anyway, so this is a messed up episode. If it goes too far for anybody, fair enough. But it was damnably intense. And, if you were gotten to the point where you were sort of bemused by Icor's, which happens a lot. Yeah. In a serialized narrative where the intensity of he's a Nazi vampire, but what has he done for us lately?
Right.
What has he done that's really solidified him as someone to...
A threat.
We've almost felt sympathy for him lately when he didn't become the master.
True.
So this feels like an effort to really pump Icorst up and make him the evilest bastard on the show, hopefully so that someone can murder his ass. at some point.
Well,
in the near
ideally,
future.
certainly, I think Satrakian would like to be that guy.
I think Dutch would like to be that
Dutch
gal.
would now like to be that gal. Yeah,
I think they should do it together, team up.
There's the line forms to
fair.
the right. So
That's true. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so we got what, 2 left this
There's
season?
that 2 more. I love it when they say like next
Next
week
week.
on the strain, only 1 more episode
Until
the last episode.
Yeah.
Fuck
So
off.
and that's to carry the 3. Okay, fine. The penultimate episode.
There you go. Just call it the penultimate episode. So this would be the antepenultimate episode.
It would be, but we're not going to call it that. All right, so we'll be back with penultimate next week. Thanks.